It is about 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday, April the 23rd, 2019, and I am standing outside the Visitor Center at the Okefenokee Swamp Park in Waycross, Georgia. I've talked about this park before. Finally getting the chance to come out here and experience it once again. Well, as it turns out, the next train leaving is at 1 o'clock, and as you can tell, that's only 15 minutes away, and they want us there 5 minutes early, so I got here just in time. Sorry, they're all froze up over here. I keep a travel vlog on YouTube, guys. Oh, say we got a showman over here.
What you doing?
It's always nice to have somebody that actually likes being on video.
Well, we don't get much.
Oh, no. Okay. So, as it turns out, the ticket for the train tour also includes what I was talking about in an earlier vlog, the 90-foot observation tower that allows you to see for miles and miles over the swamp. So we're going to get to see that today as well. Okay, I'm hearing an engine running, so this is definitely not old-fashioned steam-powered or anything like that. So that's a little bit disappointing. But yeah, let me go ahead and get on in here and enjoy the tour. Exactly 1 o'clock now, and we're moving. We are starting.
If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. Thank you. We get an average rainfall per year about 53 inches. And if we round this curve up here,
it's all moonshine still there.
Seminole log cabin. Not all Indians lived in teepees. There's usually just a one-room shack, and a large family would live in that one room. They all worked together as a team, but they didn't know they had it bad. They had it pretty good. But if you look over at a Seminole Cheeky Lodge, that's where they would gather. They would jointly skin animals, stretch out the hides, cut the meat off the bones, strap it on some wood, let it dry out. There was no refrigeration back then. They would send it off to be processed to make it turpentine. Turpentine was used heavily in the paint industry years ago, and you still buy turpentine. But ahead of us you'll see a steam boiler, the old cross ties, and we have to put sand down on the track to get traction.
Alright, this is the only stop on the train tour, a little place called Pioneer Island, and we've got about 10 minutes to take a look around here, and they've got like a cabin and some exhibits. This is the blacksmith shop. There's a smokehouse. That just the name right there tells you what it's for. Here we are inside the smokehouse. There's no meat hanging up here right now. There's a few nails where you can see it may have been done at some point, but alright, so this one looks like where they must have kept sheep or goats. We've got a few feed troughs here, and then the enclosure there to keep them out of the weather. Chilling over there by the water. Wild gator in his natural habitat. Like I said, I came out here once in my early 20s and they were just like all over the place. I actually did a little bit of fishing and tried to keep a fish on a stringer, and the gator tried to eat it off, so I took the fish off the stringer and threw it to him. I actually put a video of that on YouTube. It was one of the first videos I put up on YouTube. But yeah, the sight of a gator was not a novel thing. And I'd imagine that there are places in this swamp where they are still that numerous. Anyway, okay, so I'm not sure exactly who started the tradition of outhouses always having a moon-shaped hole in the door, but that is definitely a thing now. And then that's where you sit and did your business. There's a few chickens actually out here foraging around. So that's actually kind of still in use. You kind of wonder if they lay eggs, and if they do, who eats them. Alright, so sugarcane is it's grown. It looks like bamboo stalks. You push it through this big contraption here that squeezes it, and it runs out the spout here into a catch basin. The thing that rotates these two drums right here, the squeezing drums, is this big bar across the top. So you strap a donkey or something to that and just go around and around and around, and you put your sugar cane through there, squeeze all the sugar cane juice out, and then take it over here to this big cauldron and boil it down. Condense it, boil it down. So that's done right there. All the fire is pushed up underneath there. I actually saw this being done firsthand at a place called the Aglarama up in North Georgia. And so now I imagine they probably still do it here from time to time throughout the year whenever they've got enough sugar cane. They're growing some sugar cane right here. Let's keep in mind too, this was before air conditioning. Before air conditioning, so they took advantage of shade as much as they could. That's why you had the long overhanging eaves and the big porches like this here. Taking advantage of shade and breeze as much as you could. And as you can see, one door is facing the other door. Back door, front door facing each other, so you could open both of them and have a breezeway going through the house. Oh, now this would be something that only swampers would have. You've got your post for your bed made out of cypress knees. So these mattresses, you say, were stuffed with Spanish moss. Now I imagine
It has a lot of bugs in it.
exactly right.
How did they? They didn't know they had it bad back then. But,
so they just dealt with the bugs.
Yeah, and the children lived upstairs.
Oh man.
But they didn't know they had it bad.
Oh, so the children lived up. Okay, so there is a loft here.
Yeah.
Children would go up the ladder and stay in the loft. There's a model couple right here. They're not very talkative today. Alright, looks like we've got a kitchen area. So let's go on in and see the kitchen. Ah, okay, this is nice. Like you put meat in here, and it would mince the meat up. It would come out of these little holes like hamburger meat. This was your workbench for mixing up biscuit dough, and here's some wash basins for washing your hands, that kind of thing. Hero jars for your different flavors and oils. A little Franklin stove here. Put the fire in there. Cook your coffee, your eggs, and whatever on the top there. And here's your dining area right here next to the window. Actually not too unpleasant. I wouldn't have minded spending time in a nice place like this. This is awesome.
Thank you for coming out. Please take the time and visit all the other exhibits, the Nature Center.
I'm inside of a little museum on the way to the Nature Center right now. And I'm not going to show all that, but I did want to show this because it's a good representation of just how big the Okefenokee Swamp is. And this is that little corner of Georgia that hangs down into Florida. So if you're looking at a map, that's what this is. And you know, we've got all of this, and there's no rivers that run into it. Like the train conductor said, it's all fed by rainwater. And there's two rivers that come out of it, the Suwannee River and also the St. Mary's. Now the Suwannee River, for those of you that remember when I did the vlogs about when I was working at the Suwannee County Fair, and I walked a trail alongside it, even canoed or kayaked for 4 miles on the Suwannee River, and went to the Stephen Foster Memorial Tower right there. So that's all the history that has to do with that. Now the St. Mary's I haven't done anything yet on this vlog for, but I do plan on it because at the end of the Suwannee River over here in Georgia, there is a island called Cumberland Island that I plan on doing a tour for. It's very historic. Now to recap for some people that didn't see my Swamp Festival vlog, The word Okefenokee is Native American for land of moving earth. And this actually demonstrates it really well because they've got some kind of mechanism in there that's actually wiggling this so you can see. But what it is some places in the swamp, the marsh grass roots grow together so thick that you can walk on it. And underneath it is still swamp. So it feels like you're walking on a waterbed. You've got that squishy kind of give to it. And so it's like it's moving earth. So the Indians called it Okefenokee for land of moving earth. And so when the Spaniards and the English came in, they just took the name and started calling it that as well because, well, it sounds cool. Okefenokee. She's going to let me hold the gator for a minute. Actually hold the... Oh, I'm holding it. I'm holding the gator. Oh my goodness. You said 3 years old?
3 years old.
3-year-old gator.
Very cool. They are cold-blooded animals.
If I brought this back to the camper, I wonder what would Nestor think. It's my cat.
Ah, gotcha.
He would not like. What's this one's name? Do you have a name for it?
Monster.
Monster. Appropriate name. We'll say, hey Nestor, this is Monster. He's going to be part of the family now.
You go get some steak?
He would be like, no, I don't think so.
This is called a rat snake. It is non-venomous. Now she's a non-venomous snake. We actually have over 34 species of snakes here.
All right, I'm going to be holding the rat snake. Is that okay?
Yep.
All right, there we are. Oh, man. You can tell this rat snake has been held so many times that it just does not care anymore. That is.
They come in several different colors. They have the grays, the greens, the black, the yellows, and red. The same patterns with different skin tones. Do you want baby?
Aww. Yeah, it's just resting there.
10 to 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long time. You guys hate it?
Oh, wow. I'm loving this snake. All right, let me. What's this snake's name?
Her name is Killer.
Killer? Mm-hmm. Killer. So you've got a rat snake named Killer that specializes in being able to let children hold it. That's an ironic name for a snake that is
named before I got here.
a really sweet snake. Let's just say, really docile. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
This is kind of neat. Right inside the Nature Center, there is a display here. This is made to look like the studio of Walt Kelly, the artist and creator behind the Pogo comic strip. So you can see him in there at his drawing board, the way it may have looked back in the day. And then against this wall is some of the comic strips that ran in the newspaper. Now the significance of Pogo out here is that the characters were all based on swamp animals, and they lived in the Okefenokee swamp. And Walt Kelly himself lived in Waycross, so he had plenty of opportunity to walk out into the swamp and get lots of references to make sure that his backgrounds did in fact look like the Okefenokee swamp. And as you can see, I think he did a pretty good job. Last thing I'm wanting to do today is find that boardwalk over to this 90-foot observation tower, and it looks like I have found the entrance to the boardwalk, so it's going to be a walk through the marsh that way. Warning, notice, do not enter unless you have read and signed a release of liability form available at the gift shop main entrance. That I have already done when I paid my entrance fee. So we are safe to go on in. let us continue. This boardwalk is actually bringing back a memory of a childhood vacation, family vacation, many, many years ago. And if it wasn't this boardwalk we were on, it was one much like it. But at the time we had a Sheltie named, it was either Nicky or Jingo. It was one of those. Pretty sure it was Jingo. But we had him on a leash on this boardwalk, and he looked out and saw this here. And it looked to him enough like regular grass that he went ahead and jumped into it. Of course, he sank up and started to swim, and he was on a leash, so we just pulled him right back out. But yeah, that sticks in my mind. Not only because it was kind of neat that the marsh grass actually fooled a dog, but also just how close he had come to getting eaten by a gator. Now, I didn't see any gators. I don't remember seeing any gators around at the time, but I've heard many stories about how much gators like to eat dogs. So that story could have had a very tragic ending if we didn't have him on a leash, or if we hadn't pulled him out as quick as we did. So there you go. I must have been 7, 8 years old at the time. That would have put this 30 years ago. And we are here at the base of the observation tower, going 90 feet into the air. So now begins the walk up the stairs. How did I end up planning a walk up a lighthouse and then the next day a walk up an observation tower? I didn't think about it. But I need the exercise. So let's go ahead and get on up this observation tower. And here we are. We are at the top. Okay. I have to take a second and sit down and catch my breath. Okay, I have sufficiently caught my breath. Now, according to the lady in the gift shop where I signed my waiver, you should be able to see a total of 22 miles. I guess if you looked all the way to the horizon, that would be 22 miles. But we've got expanded metal barriers here that's blocking our view quite a bit with these smaller portals. I guess safety first, right? Safety first. All right, so let's turn the camera around and see what kind of pretty shots we can get. Alright, I believe that's enough scenic looks for today. And now it's time to ring this bell. Not sure why this is at the top. Maybe just to tell people, hey, I made it. And also do that trippy down the middle of the stairway shot with me leaning over it. We've got to get one of those. And also say one last thing. You guys out here at the Okefenokee Swamp are missing a wonderful, lucrative opportunity. You could put a zip line station up here and have that go way out. And you'd make lots of money on that as well. Alright, that's going to be it. Let's get on back to the truck. Take a look at this, guys. I'm standing on this boardwalk with really no rail or even a rope here. And right there, you can see there's an alligator. It looks like he's maybe 12 feet away, but he's a little one. He's a tiny one. And he's keeping his distance, so it's kind of exciting though. Back in the truck now, and I believe this would be a good place for me to end the vlog. It is exactly 3:40 right now. And so my conclusion on this one was, guys, it was definitely not worth the money. I paid $18.50 with tax for everything I did today, and I pretty much saw everything they had to offer in 2 hours and 45 minutes. And a lot of it was lame and not worth the money. Like the train tour, this was not a steam train, and maybe I'm a little spoiled, but the train that goes around Dollywood is steam, the one that goes around Stone Mountain is steam, the one that goes around the Aglarama. If I'm going to a place that has that old world kind of pre-Civil War, Civil War kind of time, and I'm doing a tour, I want it to be a steam train. This little combustion engine, under-maintained train made me feel like I was on one of those kiddie trains that goes around carnivals, and it clattered, it squealed, the microphone that they used to give you the narration was fuzzy, and the conductor kind of mumbled and didn't really sound like he knew what he was doing. And also the displays they had there, like the Indian log cabin, was collapsed on one side. All the tools that they were showing, how they collected pine sap for turpentine, a lot of those were rusted out and fallen off the display. About the only thing that was really cool was the Pioneer Island, and even some of it was a little unmaintained. Like the models sitting in the rocking chairs didn't look like they had been dusted in the last century. I did like the sugarcane display and the chickens, the real chickens that were out there, and also that 2 o'clock show, the nature show that I saw. If you don't have a little kid with you, you're gonna feel a little out of place at this one, because that's really for them. It's for them to be able to touch you know, snakes and turtles and a baby alligator for the first time. I appreciate that the guide actually let me hold and touch the alligator and didn't give me too much of a weird look about it. The highlight though, guys, the highlight was the boardwalk going out to the observation tower. So I'm going to say, if you come out here, first off, pack food, because this snack shack right here is just vending machines where you just get cookies and bags of chips and sodas and bottled water. They don't even have cold cuts in there, so pack your food, and don't buy the train. Just come out here and just take this boardwalk all the way up to the observation tower, because that was very cool. There are some other reasons you can come out here. The Swamp Creation Museum was really cool. I don't think you have to pay to go into that. That's really cool. If you want, I know there's good fishing out here because I've done fishing out here before. There's also places out here where you can rent canoes. So if you want to do the walking trail thing, the camping thing, the renting canoe thing, those things are very cool. If you guys like this vlog, though, please don't hesitate to indicate so by hitting that thumbs up like button. Leave comments, questions, suggestions, requests, something I can reply to down in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't already. Please subscribe and hit that bell icon. From here, I'm going to go back to the camper, hitch up, and head towards Savannah. So the next video is going to be Savannah videos. Look forward to seeing you then.